So a lot of this work sort of came as a result of childhood trauma and finding a way in which to get that out. I'd actually wanted to do it for quite some time and express it artistically, but ideas just weren't coming. I lost my brother to suicide 2 years ago, and I just started making these prints and art and everything that responded to his death. I was just absolutely manic. Some of that work was quite dark and challenging for people to look at. It would say things like depression and isolation and even just the word suicide, and it's very confronting for people. And it triggered people, and I have complex PTSD, so I mean, as much as I was, I have to make this work regardless because it's for me, I was mindful of the fact that I was triggering people as well. So to actually get to a stage like this where the work is quite attractive, it's not difficult to look at, it's pretty easy on the eye, it's colourful and gorgeous, but it still has those words in it that were associated with my childhood trauma. And I always make art about myself because I would feel strange about making art about someone else because I just don't know them like I know myself. So there's something a bit more honest about me putting myself into my art, and it's always been that way. It's the only type of art I'm interested in making is something that's personal. It's taken literally decades for me to address some of the issues that came as a result of the trauma, and I still continue to do it now. In one of the images that I have to redo because of paper buckling on me, it says thrive. I like to think of myself as a thriver, not just a survivor. Survivor is someone who's just sort of getting along, to me anyway. And I think I'm a thriver because I think I've pushed past that. They call it post-traumatic growth. And, I like to think that that's where I'm at in my journey anyway. Because I experience hypomania. And so that is just this crazy burst of energy that I get, and I'm just, woo, loving life, and I just abuse the hell out of that energy when it comes. But I suppose I'm lucky enough to focus it in on something, so I get a lot of art done. Well, the wool and the crocheting, that actually came as a result of isolation. So I'd never crocheted before in my life. I found a $6 book on beginner's crochet, and I thought, I'll give it a go, because I was in a bit of a creative funk at the time and I wasn't making anything, and I thought, well, time to try something new, and I did. And so these in particular, this was the stage I was interested in getting to with crochet. I wanted to be able to make toys. And so these little guys, and I call them friends because we've spent a lot of time together and I do talk to them, I won't lie. And actually these little guys as well. So these are not my idea at all, but I saw other people were making these ear savers for masks. So I'm actually wearing one myself at the back there. And so it just keeps the elastic off your ears and a bit more comfortable. These are actually the ones that I was talking about that came as a result of my brother's suicide, but because of isolation, they sort of have a new meaning again, so I thought I'd bring them back out for people to see, and I've got heaps more of them at home. Like I said, I really was a maniac at the time. And then for fun, I just want to try everything. I never want to get stuck in a medium, so I found these were just wooden key rings, and I thought, well, I'll just take them apart and paint them up and give them new life, and now they're these adorable little earrings. Everything's colour though. Like I said, it was so dark for so long, and now I've discovered colour and fun again. And it's honestly, I feel like a little kid whose dreams came true. Even when I was younger, I always had an interest in art. It started with Coronella. I don't know if you remember Coronella in the Herald Sun. Yes, I used to do that quite, I was very dedicated. I got third in the state or something at some point. It was always my idea to be an artist at some point, but it was more of a retirement plan, if I'm honest. It was meant to be. I was going to have a sensible job, and then art was going to come later, but it didn't wait. It didn't want to wait. It came early, and it didn't want to be shut down. So I can pump out a few of these a day, get some crochet done, all of that in one day. If I'm at home, like I said, that balance and the mother's guilt is there. So having a space that, you know, I can call work and tell myself that's what it is, because I do sacrifice time with my son when I'm here. So it has to be something that's worthwhile. So I work really hard while I am here, because, you know, any time I'm sacrificing with him is valuable. Really, it's a lot quicker. I get a lot more done down here than I do at home, trying to juggle a 2-year-old and art, because you just can't do any. As long as he's there with you, you have to wait for him to go to bed, and then it turns out to be a lot of really late nights because you have to wait for that moment. And I don't want to waste a second, you know, spending that time with him. Freedom. This is such a safe space for me to do that. I mean, yesterday, playing music that I remembered growing up with, because, it was my parents' music that I was listening to, and I just got up and started dancing. I don't dance well. I'm a total dag. You wouldn't even identify the movements I'm making as dancing necessarily, but that's what I was doing. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to go outside and dance, in front of my shop as well. And why not? I had a woman come in for one of those ear savers, and she said, do you have any in black? And I said, no, but I can make you one. Give me 20 minutes, because it's handy. You're the maker on site. So I said, give me 20 minutes. I'll make you one in black. Just to, go with the colour of her mask. And so she came back in 20 minutes, and there it was. And she said, oh, I'm going to tell all my friends that you can do this, that you'll make whatever colour, people want. And that's, I suppose, the benefit of coming into a space where there's a maker is we can do that. You want it in this colour, I can make it in that colour, It's good fun. Once my son has probably started going to school, I actually want to return to study and get a master's in art therapy. And so another thing that we'd like to do here that I've discussed with some of the other women sharing the space is running workshops. And I love obviously working with kids, but then my idea is I'll teach the kids, but then the kids will teach the adults. Like I said, my art has been a form of therapy my whole life. So I let the art take me on a journey now. It started as this. Now, this is what the pictures look like. Where it will go, I'm completely open to, because that can just be forever changing. I tend to bounce around from medium to medium. I'll go, oh, well, I've thrashed that, and now I want to change to something else, and I'm sort of getting an itching to get back into my oils soon, so I want to do that. And it's really just helped me branch out a bit as an artist and get a bit more exposure, because I want to make a career of this. And I can already see how much I love being my own boss and love this space, that I'm really not going to want to let it go when, that 12 months is up. I'll be searching for something else. I already know I will, because I'm so determined to make this work one way or another, and then to support other artists as well. So this journey is one of the self, I suppose. I grow as a person, the art grows. My interactions with people, they get to benefit from it as well when they talk to me about these things. So yeah, it's all about sharing the love as well. It's wonderful to be able to do that. They just sit at home otherwise, in boxes and sometimes on my wall, but it's nice to be able to share that with people in any capacity, really.